I have no idea where I'm going to put this, but I've had it in my house since December when it was given to me as a gift. And I am not actually a Lego person. I just have been given many Legos in the same way that some people will receive one elephant toy and then become collectors against their will. So I have no idea where this is going to go. I might take it to my office, but I'll show you where I put it for now. I think for the moment, she's just going to go there. And I don't know how I'm going to transport her to the office because that's a very fiddly piece of Lego. Creating these thingies was particularly painful on my thumbs, as well as some parts of the flowers. Like, my thumb is really sore right now. And the cats were fighting halfway through my building this. So today is Memorial Day and I'm home, and I just decided that today would be the day to get rid of little projects that needed doing. So that is that. I may decide to paint, but I might not. I feel like my thumbs need to heal a little bit from that before I do anything else that involves my physical handling of things. So I'll figure that out. But for now, I'm going to go feed the kitty cats. I have this huge mess. But look at him. What is he doing? What are you doing, Fig? Causing chaos. My partner's mom came back from Colombia and brought me stuff, and so I have packaging that needs to be sorted, and the cats need to get their shots. Figgy Lee, what have you done? Causing chaos. Yes, I know you. Poor Nieve was attacked halfway through my Lego building. We are going to do this. We're at a terrible angle because I'm too lazy to get my tripod. Round canvas, little cups to hold it up. And this is an experiment. I'm going to try it with a cup to pour it off onto the thing. I want to do this on a old canvas, and I wanted to test these colors before I commit to the canvas. I should have opened this before putting my gloves on, but we live and we learn. Let's get a knife to do that. Figgy, please, out of the way. Figgy, lead. Figgy, move on out, sir, please. Figgy, lead. Okay, we're gonna sit down. We might as well do this today. So I moved you guys over. You're not gonna see much of anything until we're done with this, because, as I said, we are lazy. We are not in the mood for a full setup. Okay. We are hoping we don't get paint on ourselves. The difficulty is that the bigger canvas that I actually want to do this on is way too big to do in a box. I think I'm going to have to do that outside somewhere. So I'm going to need a perfectly ideal sort of day to make that one happen, where there's no threat of rain. And I think I will just need to do it on a drop tarp thing, with the kind you paint on. So we've got light blue, purple, and glitter. I'm just going to pour this into the bowl. Well, that's pretty. That is quite nice. Let's cover you up. I've never done it like this. I've only ever done the dripping. I'll do purple. Spread that on. That was not the right side. If you have an object that you need to paint or a canvas, I highly recommend this Drizzle art stuff. It is so low key and makes such a nice finish. Now, I have been wanting to enamel mine, but that's more effort than I'm interested in right now. This knife will need to be cleaned. Okay, so I have my 3 colors in here, and we are just going to pour and push this up. Drip, drip, drip. I'm gonna do some yield. Like maneuvered, it's a very slow, drippy pour. I was hoping to get like a thick stripe for something like spacey, like a crystal-y look. That looks pretty spacey. That's coming out quite nice. I might have to drizzle some more blue in there. Which that does look kind of spacey. It looks very planet-like. Oh, cool. It actually looks like a planet. I do, however, want a little more of the blue. However, I always do this when I do these drizzle arts where I'm like, more blue, more yellow, more white. And then I'm like, what did I do? Should have had self-control. Let's drizzle some blue on here. Make it look more like a planet. Planets have craters. We can do some drizzles. I really like that, actually. I want to get all sides of it, though. I picked up this round canvas at Five Below because I was like, okay, let's just test these colors, see what happens. I really like that. I didn't think it would look so much like some sort of planet, but that's cool with me. I'm liking that vibe. Go around and get the edges. So. Do not mind this design at all. You can never tell what you're gonna get when you do these drizzle arts because they just kind of, they literally just flow. You just put the paint on and you let the thing happen. So yeah, I actually sent a kit to my niece. She's a tiny wee lass, and I was like, this is a thing that a child can enjoy. You make a mess, but it comes out really nice in the end. So yeah, this is it. I'm not going to go overboard because every time I go overboard, I'm like, oh no, I should have kept it the way it was one step ago. And I like this. I like this look. I want to see what this glitter looks like when it dries. Let me shift it slightly, see if it doesn't get any bubbles there. I want to see what the glitter looks like when it dries. I can always layer on more once it dries, but I haven't had to do that yet. So, well, actually, I did do it one time. There was one time I needed to layer on a little bit more. Yes, if these colors look good, I'm going to use this for a canvas that I painted in high school when I was an art student. And I don't want the original painting, like I don't feel that kind of sentiment towards it, but I kind of also want to keep it. So I was thinking of, taking the original and adding to it with drizzle art. So that's the plan, and that's why I got these shades, because they go with the painting on the canvas. So that is that. I have had an interesting Memorial Day. of relaxing and catching up on projects that I have left a little too long. So that's it. I'll catch up with you guys later. So this is what it looks like in shadow from the top right now. It's got that like planet vibe that I really like. And you can see this is what the paint looks like, the blue. So that was where I poured all of them and they came out like that. I always like the drips. So I think it's obvious that I have not vlogged in a significant amount of time. I think the last time I vlogged was in April, after my coworker had passed away. I'm doing okay. I will say that I had a hard time, like, just like getting back on track with things. It emotionally took a bigger toll than I expected, and we had to do I wouldn't call it a funeral, but like a service at work. That's not a good lighting. Let's turn this way. So we did a service at work. I had to, help coordinate it and host it and all that. I ended up actually like being like the MC, which I did not expect would come down to me, but sometimes, you just take charge of things when there's nobody else to do the thing. I have just kind of like been struggling a little bit, like time feels funny, like in the sense that so much stuff has been happening, and it was the end of our academic year, like semester wise, like things were winding down, but also really happening really fast. So it felt like a strange time in general. And I feel like I've been trying to catch up on everything since last December when everything happened with my dad. So the last like entire semester of my work year, because I work in academia, has been extremely fast, but also always slowed down. Like, it's weird to explain, but like everything seems to be happening at once, but also at the same time I seem to not be achieving anything. Like, I feel like I'm stuck. So imagine like a stone in a river that's not moving and the waters are moving around it. That's like the best metaphor I can give. Like, I feel like I haven't moved forward in a way that feels right to me, but everything else is still going on as it needs to. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's depression, because I don't necessarily think that it's depression, but I do think it's a little bit of burnout. Luckily not like extreme burnout. I do still do stuff, so I haven't like completely plopped out, but it feels like burnout. It feels like I've had to put so much aside. Somebody's happy outside. Okay, don't know what that's about. But I feel like I've had to put so much on the back burner because of everything else that's happening, and everything feels urgent, and so much of it is outside of my control and has nothing to do with me directly, but in some way involves me. So it's just been a lot, and dealing with my parents, dealing with my own health issues, dealing with stuff that I haven't really talked about with anyone other than my partner, just because it's still a little bit too up in the air and I don't know what's going on. Like, so much has just kind of happened and not happened at the same time, that it's been a weird time. And like today, for instance, I'm catching up on projects that I've had for months. This Lego set I received in December. I intended to put together the very day that my dad ended up in the hospital. So that day, a lot of stuff ended up getting put on the back burner, and then I started work. Like, my vacation ended and I was back at work. So all the projects I had intended to complete during the winter break just never happened. And I haven't really been able to take vacation or time off, because every time that I feel like, okay, things are slow enough at work that I can take vacation and nobody's work will suffer because of it, something else happens. I just think, like the day that my coworker passed away was like the first like work from home day I had had in a significant amount of time. And it was like, well, suddenly I'm doing work because everything else happened, and I was suddenly called up to take charge of the situation. So in some ways I have not been practicing what I preach, which is usually like, work is not to be all consuming. It's not the thing that, should consume my life, but in some ways it has. And I don't like that. And I'm trying to sort of like reverse out of that kind of situation and return to my normal state of being. And I'm hoping that that's something that I can start to do now. It feels like it's starting again. I did a mini Camp Nano, which I talked about in the last vlog. That's what I was also in the middle of doing. That I achieved my goal. I started strong. I did not end strong, but I achieved my goal. So there was that. That novel is still coming along. I'm still querying. I'm still doing all the things I need to do. But it feels like everything is just not as fast as I would like it to be, which is fine. Like, I'm not preaching like capitalist productivity, hustle culture, or anything like that. But there's also stuff I need to do and achieve in my life. And if I don't do the work, it's not going to happen. Like, stuff doesn't just happen miraculously if you don't put any effort into it. And these are things that I want to do. Switching hands because I'm going numb. But yeah, so even like vlogging took a complete step back because I was like, I can't handle anything else, even though in some ways this is just another creative outlet for me to keep me stimulated and to keep me going. So that's that. I don't know. I want to get back to doing the stuff I need to do. I actually, like did a little bit of decluttering today. That was another project that I had left over from the holidays. I was intending to do a top-down declutter, and that didn't happen. So my home is in some ways still a little bit too full of stuff that it brings me down. I am one of those people that clutter just kind of like affects my mental state and my ability to get work done. So it brings me down too. And I'm planning stuff. I'm gonna have a proper summer break if nothing goes awry. And by that I mean I'll be taking a week off for my birthday, which I do every year. And I plan to do the top-down declutter that I intended to do. I plan to finish the draft of the novel that I'm working on. I have many plans. We'll see if they come to fruition. But as of today, I am okay. I had a bad month of migraines. I think I'm coming out of it. I definitely think that they were caused by all the stress of everything that was going on at work. I hope that the next few months are not as stressful and don't trigger such intense migraines. And we'll just see what happens from here. But I'm going to call it a day for now. This is maybe the only vlog that will be coming out this month because I don't know if I will have the energy for more. But I just wanted to catch up with everyone and let you all know that I am doing fine. Everybody was very sad, and we all, got to grieve collectively as a group and, get to share happy memories of our time with our coworker, and that was nice and cathartic. She had apparently bought me some Christmas gifts that I never got to receive because that's around the time that she had originally gotten sick, and so I never saw her in person after that. Like, she had been coming into the office and we had conflicting schedules and I never really saw her. But apparently she had bought me some Christmas gifts and they were very touching, and I have them and I'll share them eventually. But right now, needless to say, like they do still kind of emotionally trigger me a little bit, but they're very nice. And sometimes people leave you little messages in weird ways after they've passed. So that's a nice thing to think about. But overall, I'm doing okay. Emotionally, I'm fine, and energetically, I am improving, we can say. So I'll check in with you guys later and leave you with that. And I hope you have a great weekend, week, night, evening, afternoon, whatever it is where you are. I hope you have a good one. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.